The Mysterious Case of Travis Timmerman, an American's Journey into Syria. Today, we delve into an intriguing case that's raising questions across the nation. Travis Timmerman, a name that may not have meant much to the public just days ago, is now at the center of a complex international story. This American citizen, recently found in Syria under unclear circumstances, is now in the custody of U.S. forces. Who is Travis Timmerman? What led him to Syria, a country embroiled in conflict for over a decade? And most importantly, why should his case matter to the general public? The answers, or rather the lack thereof, draw attention not only to his personal story, but also to broader issues around national security, citizen rights, and global geopolitics. Audiences everywhere are left to ponder. What happens when personal choices collide with international boundaries? Let's dive deep into this unfolding story, which offers far more than just one man's narrative. It's a window into a broader, conflicted world. Travis Timmerman's recent discovery in Syria raises several crucial questions. While details remain undisclosed, his presence in a region marked by civil war, terrorism, and geopolitical turmoil is undeniably perplexing. Syria has long been associated with danger, making it far from a casual travel destination. Although the U.S. military maintains operations in the region, they are primarily focused on counterterrorism activities. So, what could explain Timmerman's journey there, beyond the typical avenues like humanitarian work or professional deployment? At present, officials have shared little about how and why he was located in Syria. Was he voluntarily residing there? Did he find himself involved in illicit activities or circumstances beyond his control? These unanswered questions form the foundation of a larger, multifaceted narrative. But this isn't the first time an American has been discovered in hazardous zones like Syria. It speaks to a troubling pattern: the increasing number of U.S. citizens venturing into volatile areas with profound personal or geopolitical consequences. The phenomenon of Americans being found in war-torn regions like Syria is not a new one. There are legitimate and lawful reasons for such travel. Aid workers, journalists, or specialists engaged in reconstruction efforts often enter these zones. But other cases reveal a darker side: instances of individuals lured into extremist ideologies, financial scams, or illegal enterprises. How did Timmerman fit into this framework? We don't yet know if his journey was fueled by personal motives, professional duties, or something far more sinister. What's clear is that his presence in Syria challenges not only his own safety, but also the capacity of U.S. officials to navigate a tangled web of security threats. This issue highlights a growing reality for modern governance. How do nations protect their citizens while still holding them accountable for choices made abroad? Is there a line where an individual's personal responsibility becomes overshadowed by their government's responsibility to ensure their welfare? Travis Timmerman's discovery invites us to understand the environment in which he was found. Syria's recent history is one of chaos and catastrophe. Since the civil war began in 2011, it has become one of the world's most dangerous places. From rebel factions to the spread of the Islamic State, the ongoing conflict has drawn in multiple nations, including the United States. The U.S. military operates in Syria mainly to combat terrorist networks, including remnants of ISIS. However, their presence comes under constant scrutiny, facing criticism for prolonged military intervention while attempting to balance humanitarian and security objectives. For individuals like Timmerman, Syria represents an intersection of danger and intrigue. Yet, being in such a region, willingly or otherwise, comes with immense risk. Civilian safety isn't guaranteed, and connections to militant groups, whether intentional or coincidental, might trigger life-altering consequences. Timmerman's case forces us to ask, what could possibly justify his presence in such a precarious environment? Although the specifics of Timmerman's motives or actions remain unclear, his case has sparked widespread speculation. Could he have been there for humanitarian reasons? Was his presence linked to professional pursuits, or accidentally crossing paths with trouble? Or, as some might fear, was there a darker implication involving militant groups? These are questions investigators are likely struggling to answer. Authorities are tasked with uncovering not only the logistical aspects, how and when he arrived, but also the underlying why. Did Timmerman knowingly place himself in peril, or was he duped into a situation beyond his control? What his case exemplifies is how delicate such investigations can be. On one side is a need for justice and security. On the other, the recognition that cases like these involve complex human motivations that aren't always easily categorized as good or bad. The legal and ethical dilemmas in cases like this are vast. When Americans are found in conflict zones, their presence raises immediate concerns about their rights as citizens. Does the U.S. have a responsibility to repatriate them safely, regardless of the circumstances? Or should there be penalties, especially if they are found to have participated in activities detrimental to their own nation's interests? Internationally, the U.S. must navigate these actions delicately, adhering to both local and international law. Mistreating such cases could lead to diplomatic strain, accusations of negligence, or legal disputes. On the other hand, excessive flexibility risks encouraging others to make reckless decisions, assuming rescue or immunity awaits them. Timmerman's case tests these boundaries, forcing officials to consider where the line lies between accountability and compassion. For the public, it's a moment to reflect on how governments should handle such situations and what expectations should be placed on citizens who choose to venture into perilous territories. Beyond the individual story of Travis Timmerman, there are pressing national security concerns linked to cases like his. Americans in war zones often become valuable play pieces for extremist networks, intelligence agencies, or opportunistic groups looking to exploit them for ransom, propaganda, or leverage. Each new case potentially risks jeopardizing U.S. intelligence operations or counterterrorism efforts. Timmerman's discovery may have unintended consequences. If his presence in Syria unintentionally intersects with sensitive operations, it could compromise strategies aimed either at degrading terrorist groups or maintaining alliances. Additionally, his case revives the broader questions around how efficiently the U.S. monitors its citizens abroad. How can authorities prevent travel to high-risk regions without encroaching on personal freedoms? Cases like these underscore the tightrope walked by governments in a post-globalization era. This story is more than just about one man. It speaks to a broader systemic issue requiring public awareness. Why? Primarily because similar cases could involve anyone, a neighbor, a relative, or a friend unaware of the risks they face abroad. Travis Timmerman's story highlights the importance of vigilance when traveling. It serves as a stark reminder that the world, especially regions marred by conflict, remains a volatile place. Governments, while responsible for protection, may not always have the bandwidth or resources for immediate rescue missions, especially where ambiguous motives are involved. Furthermore, stories like these challenge citizens to hold their governments accountable. Transparency in cases involving Americans abroad is essential. Authorities must communicate the realities of international travel and enforce actions that are both ethical and secure. The story of Travis Timmerman is far from over, and it is unlikely to be the last of its kind. As more details emerge, we'll understand more about his motives, the investigation, and the consequences of his choices. Regardless of the outcome, his case stands as a powerful reminder of an increasingly interconnected yet unpredictable world. For the general public, this story is not just about national security or international diplomacy. It's about shared humanity and the importance of caution, awareness, and informed decision-making. International travel, especially into regions of conflict, requires an understanding of not only personal safety, but also the broader implications for one's family, community, and nation. As we follow this story, let's remember the bigger picture embedded in such narratives, how individual stories have the power to shape our understanding of global politics and humanity itself. Like and subscribe.